How's it going, everybody? Today, like I said in the From Grimy to Glory video, we're going to be doing some things different on the channel. I want to be able to put out more variety of content than just game reviews, so how about a game room review? Now, I know you're used to seeing my beautiful face at the beginning of these videos. However, this one I think I'm going to do a little bit different and just give like a voiceover of the whole process of putting it together and why I put it together. So, without further ado, let's begin. The whole game room thing, for me, started way back when I was a little kid. I've been collecting video games for the better majority of my life, and honestly don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I've been playing the NES with my great-grandmother when I was 4 all the way up to the PS4 and the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch now. But up until this room now, I haven't really had a place to call a game room. I haven't had the space to get the shelves and get the futon and get the TV and get everything the way that I wanted it. And honestly, I still kind of don't, but at the same time, I love the space that I'm in. From the very beginning of turning this bedroom into a game room, it was hectic. If you remember from the Honey Pop video, that little crying bit at the end, you got a small glimpse of the giant shelf that was really protruding into the space of this room. It took over probably 50% of the room on its own, counting the desk and the bed. I wasn't really able to, move it around or get different shelves to put there because it was just so massive. Well, that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, let's go to ikea.com or ikea.us or IKEA in general and find what would best suit the situation. So I ended up picking 4 IKEA Billy bookcases, 2 really tall ones specified for my video games, 1, and the second one for my anime and TV shows and movies. Then I picked 2 smaller ones, about 42 inches tall, for my manga and other book collections, plus a little something for me to set in the background of the videos. Starting from the beginning of this painting process was great. Not really, it was not fun, because the people who owned this house before us decided to put 4 different types of paint on each of the walls, and it got into the baseboards, it got into the carpet. There are still paint splotches in my carpet from where they painted the first time. It was not fun. I don't recommend painting to anybody unless you like painting walls for some reason. I don't. It's not horrible, but at the same time, it's really not fun. For the painting colors, I decided to pull up the Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remaster cover and pull a color palette from that and pick my favorite colors that were in it. And for my video wall, I picked this nice dark bluish purple. It's called Celestial from Sherwin-Williams. And for the other 3 walls, I picked Wishful Blue, which is another really nice blue color. Now, enough of that. I know you guys are here for the actual game room itself, so let's begin. I wanted to have something that'll make it pretty, I thought, what would be the best way for me to section off my games? Would it be by manufacturer's release or console's release? I thought, well, it all started with the Atari, really. So let's start there. I started with the Atari and then went in order of when the company started making games. It starts off with my Atari 2600 and 7800 games, not really differing between the two because personally, I don't know which is which. I just kind of went with it and put the 2600 and 7800 games together. Then it goes to my Sega Genesis, which I only really have 2 games for, Shaq Fu and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Just essentials, We then go to probably my biggest collection, the Nintendo games. I have a few NES games from my childhood, and really all of them were from when I was a kid, except Legend of Zelda, which I can thank a former friend for giving. That was a really nice present of his, and I thank him a lot for it. But I also have a relatively rare NES game called Zen the Intergalactic Ninja. We might be getting a video on that sometime within the next, I don't know how long. I haven't really decided, but for a game of that rarity, and really obscurity because I haven't seen anything on it on the internet. I want to give it a kick and see, is it as fun as I remember from when I was a kid, or is it as difficult as I remember from when I was a kid? Then we kind of skipped the Super Nintendo library because I don't have any, which is weird because I have every other Nintendo console, games-wise anyways. I don't have a Wii U, but I have a Wii U game. Got Bayonetta 1 and 2 because I got it for a pretty good price and didn't really think about it. It goes from the NES, skips this SNES, and goes to the N64, which I only have 3 games for and have only had 3 games for since I got my N64. Those were the only 3 games that I can really think of besides Conker's Bad Fur Day that I really enjoyed playing on at friends' houses or other things like that. So I thought, let's get Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Snap, and Mario 64. 3 really big staples. However, looking back now, I should probably pick up Majora's Mask, Pokemon Stadium 1 or 2, both are really good, and of course Conker's Bad Fur Day for the future. Then we go straight into my GameCube games, which are surprisingly getting more and more expensive, which bothers me because the GameCube is one of my favorite consoles. That and the PlayStation 2, which you can tell by the giant library that I have of PlayStation 2 games, that was my go-to system that generation, and still is to this day. I still love booting up my PlayStation 2 and seeing how good it aged surprisingly to this day. But the GameCube, I have some of the essentials. I've got Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Pokemon Colosseum, and XD Gale of Darkness, which I picked up for $25. Really surprised me. And I'm sure you see that really weird end label for Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah, don't ask. I was at Half Price Books and I found it for $13, so I just decided to pick it up. It was in a very weird case, but I did not care because it's Smash Melee for $13. And I liked the little CDI and old retro-ish memes, I guess, on the box cover. We then go into my Wii library, which I didn't really start collecting for until recently. The Wii was not a console that I had growing up, which is weird because I love Nintendo. I didn't pick one of those up until 2015, I believe, and I'm still picking up games for it to this day. My most recent would probably be Super Smash Bros. Brawl or Kirby's Epic Yarn. While I was in Boston for college, I actually found a really nice game shop that had super good prices on Wii games and other games. They had a whole wall of $3 games or less, and everything there was buy 3, get 1 free, so you bet I stocked up. I was able to pick up Super Mario Galaxy, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Super Paper Mario, all for about $10 each, which if I were to go on eBay, it'd probably be $15, $20, so I considered that pretty good. From the Wii, we have my sole little Wii U game, Bayonetta 2, which was marked as Bayonetta 2 and not Bayonetta 1 and 2, which I appreciated, because the store that I went to priced them improperly and switched the prices around, so I was able to pick that up for about $15, whereas just Bayonetta 2 was $27. I don't know why. That store, I just haven't bothered talking to them about it because I got Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Wii U for $15. From there, it goes into my handhelds for the Nintendo, which I didn't really use my Game Boy and my DS for anything more than Pokemon machines. Now, I do have other games on the system that aren't Pokemon, but the majority of the games on the system were Pokemon. I have some Yu-Gi-Oh games and some Spider-Man 3, the licensed game, but other than that, I don't really have much of anything on the console aside from Pokemon, which I want to delve more into. But again, like the GameCube, the DS and Game Boy are in their state of hyper nostalgia, where the people who were playing them when they were kids are now old enough to start collecting and wanting to collect them, so buyers and sellers are trying to inflate the prices, which sucks, but they're quality consoles, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from. From there, it goes into my Sony games. Like I said earlier, the PlayStation 2 is probably my favorite console of all time. I have put so many hours into my PS2, it's not even funny. My PS1 I used for a while, then it got put on top of a fridge, and I have not seen it since. So I've just been using my PS2 for both PlayStation 1 and 2 games, and for a while I had to use it as a DVD player because I didn't have enough room for a DVD player. So that was fun, and it's a great DVD player for what it was. From the PlayStation 2, it goes into the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, which, funny here, the PlayStation 3 I didn't pick up until last year, actually. I picked it up for $20 at another half-price book sale. Then, within probably a week, I had all of the games that I have now. The PS3 is a really easy system to collect for, just solely due to all of the games either being sports games or just games that have aged pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the games on the PS3 that I've played anyways have aged really well and have had HD remasters on the PlayStation 4, so it's cheaper for the original games. The PlayStation 4 is one that I've been collecting for since 2017. I'm really late to consoles, if you haven't noticed. The only ones that I've picked up around release were the Switch, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox. I've been collecting throughout the years, but usually I would pick a console and stick to that console specifically and nothing else. But the PlayStation 4 is a great console and I love mine to death. I actually just picked up 2 new games for it, being Final Fantasy VII Remake and Persona 5 Royal, which I've been playing over on my Twitch channel, which is linked in the description, and that's where you're going to see me playing the games that I make videos on, because it's fun to interact with you guys and be able to play games on my own leisure. From the PlayStation 4, it goes into my very, very small Xbox collection, which needs to grow, which it probably will. The Xbox Original, 360, and One are all really easy consoles to collect for. You can usually find bundles of the original Xbox with like 5 games for $60, which is not bad. While a majority of the console, like every console now, is sports games, there are some really good hidden gems on there. And, you know, some that aren't hidden, like Halo 2. That is still an amazing game to this day. I love popping in Halo 2, sitting back on my futon, and reliving memories from my childhood. One game that is really slept on in my collection for the original Xbox is Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. It is not a game that I hear anybody talk about now, and that kind of makes me sad, because I loved playing that game growing up. For the 360 and the One, I have most of the staples. I actually just recently picked up Sunset Overdrive for the One, which is one that I've heard so many good things about and just haven't had time to pick up yet until a few months back. And from the bookshelves, we go over to the manga, which is very apparent. I pick the good shonen manga of the generation, like Naruto, Bleach. If you can't tell, is one of my favorite series to read, watch, exist in. In fact, I was able to pick up a Japanese exclusive Bleach game for the GameCube, which then prompted me to buy a Japanese Spice Orange GameCube for a very, very nice price of $42. If you pick that up now, it is probably going to run you about $96 to $100. And the Spice Orange controller actually came with it from the seller. I didn't pay anything extra for that. That also goes for about $36. So thank you to random seller on Amazon for the Spice Orange GameCube and Spice Orange GameCube controller. I am really fond of this game room. One thing I really didn't get to talk about that much was the Entertainment Center, which is, I mean, it's all basic consoles: the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, One, and Original, then my GameCubes and my Switch, and that's about it. I have all of the consoles that I really enjoy playing hooked up through HDMI, and at any point I can plug them into my Elgato and stream them over to the computer for recording or whatever. I'm really enjoying this setup, and I can't wait to see what more we can do with it. I'm thinking about putting posters on the wall, but I have not decided yet. Maybe as the videos go forward, you see more improvements with the room and the video wall itself. With all that being said, I wanted to thank you guys for sticking around with this channel. I know we're doing some different things. we'll be back to video game reviews within the next few videos, I promise. I just wanted to sit down and talk with you guys about my game room and about, you know, gaming as a whole. If you guys have any suggestions for what I should do to my game room, or if you guys have anything you want to say about your game room, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I love reading comments and interacting with you guys. Even if we are a small community, we're still a community, and I really enjoy that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna go play some Persona 5 Royal.